Do you remember making these dried flowers? You would take a really beautiful flower and then get a very big book, put it inside with some tissue paper, and then find another extra heavy book and layer it on top for some extra pressure. And what do you get? This perfect dried flower. One-dimensional, dull, dry, lifeless. And this is what is happening to women. We are squashed. We are squashed in these pages of this good girl rule book, and then layered on top are all of these family rules. Now, the good girl rules are these rules passed down through the generations. They're these unwritten rules that tell women who we can be, what we can say, how much we can shine, so that nobody feels uncomfortable and nobody is threatened. And then we have family rules that tell us who we need to be to belong in our families and be successful according to them. And the crazy thing about these rules is the ones who enforce them is us, because they live in our nervous systems, and so they're really hard to get away from. And so you might be asking yourself, ugh, why am I such a people pleaser? How do I get in touch with my light, with what I'm here to do, with what makes me light up and shine? And if you are, just know you're not alone. Women can get stuck for decades, even a lifetime. In fact, the top regret of the dying is I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself and not the life others expected of me. I was one of those women who was stuck for decades, 4 decades. I followed all the family rules. I went into corporate America. I started working in advertising at the agency in Los Angeles that did Barbie. And I'm laughing because from the beginning, I was like, why are all these people so stressed out? This is so stupid. But I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so I figured, okay, next year I'm going to figure it out. Well, 18 years later, I was still in it. I was working on Frito-Lay, selling Lay's, Doritos, and Cheetos to the world. And my heart knew that there was more for me to do, but I just didn't believe in myself enough to do it, and I didn't even know what it was that I wanted to do. And so when I was 42, it was 2013, I'd hit the end of my rope. And lucky for me, right around this time, my girlfriend said to me, "Hey, Julie, do you like bald guys?" And yeah, I think bald guys are really cute. And I'd been divorced for 10 years, and so I was all up for setups. And so she introduced me to this guy named Russ. Well, it was our 4th date. We were on West 72nd Street eating sushi. I'm sure I was having a salmon avocado roll. And I said to him, I really just want to change my life. I just don't want to work in advertising anymore, and I don't know what to do. And do you believe his response was, well, why don't you quit your job and sell your apartment and travel the world? And I know someone who'll go with you. And then we spent the rest of the night talking about how we could climb, pyramids in Guatemala and visit the highlands of Ethiopia. I never even heard of the highlands of Ethiopia. I didn't know they had highlands, but I was like, that sounds good, And so the next morning I woke up and I was all in. And so 3 months later, I'd quit my job. I'd sold my apartment. I gave away most of my stuff. I threw my skinny jeans into storage, bought some cute hiking gear, threw it in the back of his 2-door Jeep Wrangler, and we drove off into the sunset from New Jersey all the way to Pennsylvania. And I felt like I was just throwing that good girl rule book out the window as we went. And it's funny, I got very little pushback at that time. I think everyone just thought I was nuts. I'd known this guy for 3 months. For sure I'd be home for Christmas. Well, come Christmas time, we were in California, and I sent an email home. I said, hey, guess what? We're going to go into Mexico, and then we're driving to South America, and I won't be home for Christmas. Well, I got an email back. What? Your trip is important, but so are we, and you really should come home for Christmas. Your grandmother's getting older, your nieces and nephews want to see you. So of course my immediate good girl response was, oh my gosh, I have to go home for Christmas. But this was an email, so it gave me an opportunity to drop into my heart and really feel. And I realized a good girl this year goes home for Christmas with her family. But what I really wanted to do, and what I was going to do, was go to Mexico and keep going to South America. And that's exactly what I did. And this became a 5-year journey around the world. We traveled through 69 countries. We got married spontaneously in Kathmandu, Nepal by this guy who channels Shiva. And it was really amazing. And I was just learning, we are not here in this world to make decisions based on what makes everybody else comfortable. We're here to live joyfully from our hearts. And I really learned the power of this and living this way about halfway through the journey. Russ and I had driven down to Peru. We were in the Peruvian Amazon. We were at an ayahuasca retreat center. And if you don't know ayahuasca, it's a plant medicine that is used to help people really connect to their hearts and to expand their consciousness. And I'd been there enough times that I was volunteering, supporting guests in their journeys. And I knew the people there really well. So the lead shaman asked me one night if I would sing a song. And my initial reaction was like, no, why would I sing a song? I'm not a singer. I've never sung a solo in my life. I don't even sing in the shower. But there was a part of me that really wanted to do this. And so I said yes. And so at the end of ceremony, he called me up to the front of this ceremony space. It's this round space built of Amazonian wood with a palm thatch roof and all these screen windows so that the sounds of the frogs and the insects of the Amazon are coming in. And there was about 50 people lying there. And I sat down on the stairs next to my friend Loretta, and I picked up a percussion instrument, and I started to sing. O caminho da luz está dentro de você. And I don't think anyone heard me because I was so nervous. And I was thinking, oh gosh, who do I think I am to be up here doing this? But then I felt a hand on my back, right behind my heart. And it was my friend Loretta. And it was like silently she was saying, drop into your heart. Drop into your heart, sing from there. And so I did. Ei, clareia, salve a lua cheia. And on I went, and it felt like divine love just used me as this vehicle to pour itself into the room. And it was so powerful that people started to cry. And when I finished, the room burst into applause, which never happens. It's a ceremony, it's not a performance. And the lead shaman, he announced, ladies and gentlemen, you are witnessing the birth of a medicine woman. When I look back on it, in that moment, I realized the power of my love, the power of my voice, to move people, to impact people, to lift people up. And the power of a sister with her hand on my back, connecting me to my gifts. And what's so amazing is now 5 years later, instead of selling salty snacks to the world, I am a transformational coach for women, helping them connect to their leadership and lead from their hearts. I'm a woman speak leader, supporting women to speak their truth from their hearts. And it is just so deeply fulfilling. And I'm here to tell you, your heart can do this for you too. Your heart can connect you to your medicine, to your gifts that you're here to share in this world. It's crazy because we have this part of us that's here to be a guiding force in our lives, and we ignore it because we're taught that following our hearts is foolish. We think that the heart is just a muscle, but really, it's the path to your deepest soul growth. And when you listen to your heart, you connect to your gifts and to your destiny. I'd love to share with you a couple things I learned along the way that really helped me claim my freedom, that helped me throw those rule books out the window. And there's two things. The first is rethinking who you are. So when all those thoughts come up in your head that say, oh, who am I to do this? Or when someone starts to challenge you, and just remember, you are not a good girl. You are a goddess. You are a powerful being of light. You are a powerful woman here to share your gifts in the world, and we really need them. We think that courage is skydiving, but courage is really connecting to and living from this part of you, this powerful part of you that is here to serve. And the second thing is, become like a warrior for the goddess. You have to defend that part of you so fiercely. I'd like to share with you what a teacher taught me. So when someone says to you, you should come home for Christmas instead of going to travel the world with this man you're going to marry and eventually, connect to why you're here on the planet, you can ask the divine, is it true I need to put that person between you and me in front of the truth in my heart? And I'm pretty sure you're going to get a no. And then all you have to say, lovingly, from the heart, is, I'm following my internal guidance. I hope you understand. And that's it. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You are your own sovereign being. Your family will find their way, and you will have the loving kinship you desire without all those ties that bind and keep you small. So I just encourage you to connect to your heart, to connect to that goddess within and live from that place, because when you do, miracles and blessings happen in your life and in the lives of those you're here to serve. I'd like to leave you with the words of Kashmir Baniak. Name one good girl who's changed the world. You can't, because she can't. And I'll add, but as a goddess, you can. Thank you.